When you leave and never come back, the narcissist's heart is instantly broken and helpless. You've done it. You've walked away. You've endured the painful silence of no contact, and you've begun the courageous, arduous journey of rebuilding your life from the ashes. You might be struggling with the emotional wreckage they left behind, but a perplexing question can still linger in the quiet corners of your mind. What did that final moment feel like for them? Did they even notice, or have they simply moved on to the next person without a second thought, as if you never even existed? The narcissist's public facade is one of indifference, of a life thriving without you. They may project an image of happiness, success, and freedom, a narrative designed to make you believe you were the problem, and that your absence was a relief to them. But what if that's all a performance? What if, when you walked away for the very last time, the narcissist's heart, that is to say, their fragile ego and their very sense of self, was instantly shattered and left utterly helpless? If you've ever found yourself asking what that final irreversible moment of departure does to a narcissist, and what it truly means for their inner world, then this discussion is for you. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a profound and often misunderstood logical truth. We will explore in meticulous detail what happens inside a narcissist when they realize you are gone forever, and why their heart is instantly broken and helpless, though not in the way you might think. This isn't about romanticizing their pathology or giving you false hope. It's about providing you with the liberating enlightenment to understand their internal chaos, to validate your strength, and to finally permanently free yourself from the ghost of their influence. Let's talk about something really important. We're going to dive into some deep psychological truths that are often missed. To help this empowering message reach more people who need it, please consider subscribing, giving a thumbs up, and sharing this video. Your support is so valuable and helps us keep shining a light on these crucial topics. To truly grasp why a narcissist's heart is broken and helpless because of your absence, we must first abandon the notion that their suffering is the same as ours. Their pain is not born of a place of genuine remorse, loss, or a deep emotional connection to you. A narcissist, by definition, lacks the capacity for true emotional empathy and healthy attachment. Therefore, their broken heart is not the shattered feeling of a lost love. It is a devastating narcissistic injury, a profound psychological wound to their ego. The feeling of being broken is a shattered self-image, and the feeling of helplessness is a profound loss of control. They are not suffering because they miss you as a person. They are suffering because they have lost a crucial component of their own psychological survival. The passage of time does not heal this pathological wound. In fact, it often makes it fester and grow into a deep-seated, concealed anguish. Firstly, one of the most fundamental and undeniable pieces of proof that a narcissist is suffering is that your departure has inflicted a profound and unforgivable narcissistic injury. To understand this, we must recognize that a narcissist's ego is a delicate, fragile construct, propped up entirely by external validation. When you, a significant source of their supply, chose to leave and never come back, you shattered their illusion of omnipotence. For a narcissist, the idea that someone would willingly abandon them, that someone would choose a life without them, is a direct, violent blow to their sense of superiority. They don't process this as a mutual ending. They experience it as a defeat, a rejection, and a humiliating wound. This isn't a simple heartbreak. It is a deep, psychological laceration to their false self. The suffering that results is not sadness over your absence, but a burning internalized shame over being less than, over being rejected, over the undeniable fact that they did not have complete and total control over you. This profound injury festers, fueling a secret agony they will never admit to you or anyone else. Their public indifference is a performance designed to mask the immense, humiliating pain of this wound, a brokenness that they will never ever be able to repair. Secondly, another clear proof of their brokenness is the withdrawal of narcissistic supply, which, for them, is a form of psychological starvation. A narcissist is like an addict, constantly in search of their next fix of attention, admiration, validation, or even negative reactions. You were their most potent and reliable dealer, a known quantity of high-quality supply. When you went away, you abruptly cut off this vital lifeline. The silence where your adoration once echoed, the absence of your emotional reactions to their manipulations, creates a terrifying void. They are suddenly starved of the very thing they depend on to regulate their fragile self-esteem and feel real and important. This withdrawal can lead to intense feelings of worthlessness, anxiety, and a desperate scramble to find new sources. The brokenness they feel is a deep primal panic that comes from their psychological sustenance being removed. They may try to find a replacement, but the new supply is often an unknown quantity, requiring a great deal of effort to cultivate. The suffering of this withdrawal is the relentless, gnawing emptiness they feel without your presence, a hunger they will never satiate in a healthy way. This feeling of being empty is what makes them truly helpless. A third piece of proof that a narcissist is suffering and helpless is the collapse of their false self, the painstakingly crafted persona they present to the world. A narcissist's entire life is a performance, a relentless pursuit of supply to distract them from the unbearable emptiness and shame that lies beneath their false self. You are a crucial part of this performance, a constant source of attention that helped them to avoid this terrifying internal void. When you go away, especially with no contact, the noise of your adoration and reactivity suddenly ceases. In the quiet, they are left alone with themselves, with the very thing they have spent their entire lives running from. This confrontation with their own profound emptiness is a form of suffering they will go to great lengths to avoid. They will immediately and frantically seek out new supply to fill the silence and to distract them from this internal horror. But the occasional fleeting moments of quiet can force them to face the unbearable truth of who they are. Their mask has cracked, and they are helpless to put it back together without you there to help them. Fourthly, your absence leads to a chilling confrontation with their true, empty self, a moment of profound helplessness. The narcissist's entire life is a distraction from their inner world. You, by your presence, provided that distraction. When you go away forever, they are left with themselves and the overwhelming emptiness they feel inside. They have no internal resources to cope with this. The suffering they feel is the terror of having to sit with themselves, to face the shame, the self-loathing, and the void that they have been running from their entire lives. This feeling is not just a passing sadness. It's a profound sense of brokenness that they are helpless to fix. The only way they know how to deal with this is to find a new source of supply as quickly as possible, to once again avoid the chilling truth of their own being. This is the very definition of helplessness, the inability to heal themselves. A fifth powerful proof of their brokenness and helplessness is the malignant envy they feel when they see you healing and thriving without them. The narcissist world is a zero-sum game. They believe they can only win if you lose. As you move on, heal, and find genuine happiness, you become a painful, living mirror reflecting all that they are not and all that they can never be. They are trapped in a repetitive cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard, unable to form genuine connections or find true, lasting contentment. Your genuine joy, your newfound peace, and your authentic relationships are a constant source of agony for them. They are suffering not because they miss you, but because they are haunted by the stark contrast between your emotional health and their perpetual internal emptiness. Their brokenness is a dark, vindictive, and corrosive envy of your success, driven by a desire to see you fail and a bitter hatred for your happiness. And they are helpless to stop this feeling, as it is a core part of their pathology. Sixthly, your departure leads to an immense loss of control, which they experience as a form of helplessness. For a narcissist, control is not just a preference, it is a fundamental pillar of their existence. You, by choosing to leave and maintaining no contact, shattered their illusion of omnipotence. Your act of autonomy, your decision to live a life on your own terms, is a terrifying and maddening reality for them. The helplessness they feel, the knowledge that they can no longer pull your strings, manipulate your emotions, or dictate your reality, is a profound source of distress. Their brokenness is rooted in the frustration of this powerlessness. They are a puppeteer whose strings have been cut, and the puppet has run away to join a healthy life. The constant, gnawing feeling of being unable to influence you is a secret torment they carry, leaving them feeling profoundly helpless. A seventh proof that a narcissist is suffering and helpless is the smear campaign they launch against you, which is a desperate attempt to cope with their loss of control. The narcissist smear campaign against you is not an act of nonchalance. It is an act of desperate coping, to expend so much energy on spreading lies, on trying to turn people against you, on trying to control the narrative, is a clear sign that they are not at peace. A person who is genuinely happy and has moved on does not spend their time trying to sabotage the life of their ex-partner. The narcissist engages in this behavior because your absence and your happiness are a profound source of pain for them, and they are trying to manage that pain by damaging you. Their public performance of indifference is directly contradicted by the tremendous effort they put into their private acts of revenge and defamation. This is a clear, undeniable sign of their helplessness to control the truth. Eighthly, the desperation behind their hoovering cycle is a tangible proof of their brokenness and helplessness. Hoovering isn't a sign of love or a change of heart. It is a desperate, pathetic attempt to alleviate their own pain. The more desperate their attempts to get you back, the more they reveal their brokenness. When a narcissist is doing well, when their supply is high, they have no reason to try and get you back. They are only driven to hoover when they are in a state of pain, when their new supply has failed, or when the narcissistic injury of your departure is too much to bear. The energy, the cunning, and the sheer desperation they put into their hoovering is a clear sign that they are in a state of crisis and are suffering because you are gone. And they are helpless to stop this cycle, as it is the only coping mechanism they have. Ninthly, the most enduring proof of a narcissist's brokenness and helplessness is their repetition compulsion, their inability to move on in their continuous search for a replacement. A healthy person processes the end of a relationship, learns from it, and moves on to form a new, unique connection. A narcissist cannot do this. They are trapped in a cycle, a repetition compulsion, where they must constantly find a new person to idealize, devalue, and discard. Your absence simply means they are in the frantic, desperate, and ultimately unsatisfying search for a new you. The suffering here is the perpetual cycle they are trapped in. The knowledge that they can never truly move on, the endless hollow search for a new source of supply to fill the void that you, for a time, helped them to ignore. They are broken because they are trapped in their own pathology, and your departure has simply highlighted their inescapable and helpless fate. Finally, the most powerful proof of all is their outward performance of indifference. The meticulous public performance of being fine is the ultimate evidence of their internal brokenness. They will post on social media, they will brag to friends, they will make sure everyone believes they are thriving. But a person who is truly fine does not need to prove it to the world, and they certainly do not need to prove it to their ex-partner. The sheer energy and effort they put into this performance is a direct reflection of the immense, secret pain they are trying to cover up. Their mask has cracked, and they are trying desperately to hide the brokenness underneath. This outward facade is a lie that proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you have left them feeling broken and helpless. In conclusion, the narcissist's heart is broken and helpless because you went away, but not in the way a healthy person suffers. Their pain is not remorse. It is a profound and pathological anguish born of a wounded ego, a loss of control, and a terrifying confrontation with their true empty self. Understanding this crucial distinction is the key to your final liberation. If understanding these 10 profound pieces of proof that the narcissist's heart is broken and helpless has brought clarity and validation to your experiences, please remember this: their suffering is not your fault, nor is it your responsibility to fix. It is a direct consequence of their inherent pathology and their inability to cope with your strength and your decision to choose yourself. You did not break them. You simply stopped allowing them to break you. Your freedom and your well-being are the most powerful and validating responses you can offer. Do not be swayed by their feigned indifference, their public performances, or their desperate attempts to hoover you back in. Their actions are not about love or a change of heart. They are a sign of their turmoil. Continue to prioritize your healing, maintain your boundaries, and embrace the peace you have fought so hard to reclaim. Their brokenness is theirs to manage, and your life is yours to live, fully and without apology. Thank you for joining us today, for bravely exploring these complex dynamics, and for empowering yourselves with the knowledge to navigate the aftermath of narcissistic relationships with strength and understanding.